Hey, what's up everyone? Tato Khadebe here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome to you. And if you haven't already done so, please do consider subscribing down below. It's absolutely free and it will of course help out the channel quite a bit. We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers and I'm actually thinking I'm going to do what I did previously where when we were about to hit our 500 subscriber mark, I had a competition. So with the 1,000 subscriber mark, I think I'm going to be doing the exact same thing again. I'll be giving away a piece. So if you are watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe so that we can get to that 1,000 subscriber mark as soon as possible. And then we will have another giveaway happening as soon as that happens. So please do consider subscribing down below. It is absolutely free. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it'll mean the world to me because, you know, I will have reached a milestone by the time I get to that point. So please do consider doing that. If you are somebody that's returning to watch the videos once again, I want to say thank you and welcome back. I have another wonderful video for you. I think it's wonderful. You'll let me know in the comments down below. And so yeah, we'll get into the video right now. So for today, we'll be discussing the 9 ways to optimize your time in business. So I've been in business now for a couple of years, and there are some things that I have learned along the way that I think could be quite useful for somebody who is starting out for the first time in a business, specifically in a jewelry business. But I think the list that I have will count for anyone who's starting out any sort of business. It's not specific to jewelry, but I do think, you know, as a business owner, regardless of what industry you're in, there are things that you need to have in place in order for you to be able to use your time successfully and not to be wasting time and things like that. And I think this list is quite comprehensive and it'll give you an opportunity to use your time very well if you are somebody that's starting out. So if that sounds interesting to you, or if you think somebody will be able to benefit from this video, please do share it with them and we will get into that list right now. So for number 1, we will be talking about prioritizing your tasks. So by prioritizing your to-do list and focusing on the most important tasks first, you can make the most out of your time and get the most important work done efficiently, more efficiently. This could involve using tools like a task list or a productivity app to stay organized and on track. So the most important thing that one person can do that is in business is to make sure that you prioritize the most important tasks first in your business. And that could happen as soon as you've woken up. If you are fully in business and you don't have a 9-to-5 job that you're going to anymore, make sure that the first things that you do in the morning are the things that are going to benefit your business the most. So as somebody who is starting a business, you are wearing so many hats, especially if you are one person in the business. You have to market your products, you have to make the products, you have to package them, you have to deliver them. There's so many things that one has to do. So prioritizing the most important things first needs to happen as soon as you get up and as soon as you get to your office, because if you can focus on the most important things first, and then all the other things that can follow, for instance, answering emails and working on even things such as your logo for your business, that's not a priority per se. The product and what people receive from you and what the product actually is, whether it's a digital or a physical product, those are the most important things that you need to do. And you need to focus on what your niche is, and you will know that my clients require this from me, so you will focus your energies on that. For me, for instance, the most important thing for me would be the quality of the product. So if I know that I have a piece that needs to be designed and manufactured for a client and they've given me a deadline, my most important thing is making sure that I am in my workshop and manufacturing that most of the day. If I know that this thing is something that is an important thing. Things such as emails, as I said, not so important. You can basically delegate those kind of things to other people. Maybe you can look at it at a later stage, but I will be discussing about delegation and things like that in a few minutes. So make sure that you do prioritize your tasks so that you're not spending time doing things that are not so important. Number 2 would be delegating responsibilities. So by delegating tasks to others, you can free up your time and focus on the more important work. For instance, if you are a CEO or somebody who is starting a business, you want to focus on things such as strategy and making sure that you are taking your business in a direction that will make you more profitable. So those are the things that you'd want to focus on, and then all the other responsibilities, if you can, you'd want to delegate them to other people. You can do this by outsourcing your tasks and by hiring staff. And there are many ways to delegate your responsibilities and to optimize your time. So as I've already said, if there are things that are not so important to your business or they do not make or break your business, take your time out to really delegate them. And there are many ways that you can go about by doing this. So if you're able to delegate your responsibilities, for instance, taking things that do not really require a lot of your time or things that do not make or break your business, for instance, even something as it's an important thing, but it's something that shouldn't necessarily have to take up so much of your time, like your logo, which I've already said, or even the kind of packaging that you might have. Those things are not as important as, in my case, the product that I am trying to deliver to my client. So delegating the things that are not as important will be able to give you enough of time to focus on the other more important things, such as I said, in my case, manufacture and design, and being able to be in contact with my clients and speaking to them and letting them know that, you know, everything that I'm doing, if it's a custom made piece, is specific to them. So everything else you should be able to delegate. Whatever your business is, make sure that you know what is the most important things and what is not so important, so that you can take the things that are not so important and you're able to delegate them out. Of course, it might not be as simple as that, because if you are going to be hiring people, it becomes a bit difficult to do that, especially if you do not have the funds to hire people on a full-time basis. But you can use websites such as Fiverr or freelancer.com and see who is available to be able to help you with the other less important things in your business, so that you can focus on the more important things in your business. So delegating the responsibility is quite an important thing. Number 3 would be to use technology efficiently. With so many tools and technologies available to help you in your business to make it more efficient, it's important to find the ones that work best for you and for your business. And you need to find them as soon as you possibly can, so that you can make use and take advantage of their capabilities as soon as you can. So from project management tools to time-saving apps, there are many ways that technology can help optimize your time. So for instance, in my case, as a jewelry designer, I use computer-aided design as a technology tool that helps me to, get my work out and to make it more efficient and for me to get the work done quickly. So as an example, I use Rhinoceros, which is the tool that I design some work on. And then I'll take the work from Rhinoceros and I input it into another tool called Keyshot, which is the rendering tool, which makes the piece that I've just designed in Rhinoceros makes it look real. It's a drawing, a 3-dimensional realistic drawing of the piece. Then I'm able to take that render and send it to my client, and they can see it from many different angles. So I can show the client from the front, I can show it from the side and from the top, and they're able to look at what the piece will look like. And then I can have that back and forth with me and my client, and then they'll give me their feedback on, no, I'd rather you change this, or maybe move the stone here. Let's try a square stone instead of a round stone. Whatever the case might be, I use Rhinoceros and Keyshot to be able to do that. Whereas if, let's say, you are more of an old school type of designer and you prefer to draw, you can obviously achieve similar results with what technology can do. It's just that now you're using your hand. The only difference now is it's going to take you so much longer to be able to draw this specific piece from all these different angles that I've just spoken about, and then you send it to your client. And then after they've received it, the same kind of feedback might just happen where they say, okay, yeah, I like the way it looks, but can we maybe change this, that, and maybe let's move the stone here, maybe let's change the color of the stone. And after you've done that, you can send it back to me so we can discuss it further. Now that you've gotten the feedback from your client, now you have to go back at your desk once again and redraw this thing with all the changes that they're looking for, which then obviously will take more time, and it's a time waster in my opinion. Whereas with technology, I can actually physically sit with my client at my desk and do the changes in front of them, and then they'll be able to even give me feedback as soon as that happens. Whereas if you're drawing it by hand, it makes it a bit more difficult for you to get feedback as soon as possible, which obviously then wastes some time for you to be able to achieve the goal as soon as you possibly want to. So I really embrace and I take in using technology to be able to achieve the goal as soon as you possibly can. So making use of technology is also a very important one. Number 4 would be avoiding distractions. Distractions can quickly derail your focus and waste valuable time. So it's important for you to find ways to stay focused and to avoid common distractions such as emails, social media, and other time wasters. This could involve setting aside specific times for checking your emails, or for setting boundaries when you are not available to do any other things. So I'm speaking a lot about emails because those are one of the biggest distractions that you can have as a business owner, especially if you are trying to build a business and maybe you're trying to be chatting to suppliers and sourcing different materials, or maybe you are cold emailing some clients that you might want to be working with. And although I call them distractions, they are important in your business. So they're not distractions in a way that you should just ignore them, but they're distractions in that if you haven't set time aside for you to be working on the emails or to be on your computer answering emails, then they become distractions. So what's best for you to do is, as I've already said previously, prioritize what is important and what needs to happen in order for your business to grow. In my case, I need to make the best products possible and deliver it to my clients so that I can make them happy, and then they'll be able to tell people about my business, and then I can build my client base that way. That's the most important thing. When it comes to answering emails, set aside time, maybe half an hour every single day at the same time, and you know that from 10 to 10:30, I'm opening my emails and I'm answering all the emails and doing what I need to do there. The whole point of an email is it's not an urgent thing. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, they wouldn't put it on email and then let it go. If it's very important, they would call you. That's how I believe, it would be. So nobody would really get upset if you took a bit longer to respond to an email. And it's important for you to stick to the time. If you've said it's 30 minutes for you to answer emails, stick to that time so that you can use the rest of your time on the important things that need to happen. Even things like I've said with social media, for instance, that is a distraction, but we all need to have a break, take a break every now and then. But you can use social media as well, for instance, to help you grow in your business. For instance, you're watching this video on social media and you're able to then use the information that I'm giving you now to be able to grow your business the way that you would like the business to grow. So even though social media can also be a distraction, for instance, just scrolling on it aimlessly and not having an end goal, it doesn't necessarily have to be educational like this. Schedule a time for you to be able to sit on social media if it's something that really does make you happy. So I would suggest using your break or your lunchtime while you're busy eating. Maybe you can just open Instagram or TikTok or whatever the case might be, and you can scroll for that 35 minutes, 40 minutes during your lunch break. And then that'll be your de-stressing time so that you're not necessarily wasting time during the day just aimlessly scrolling through social media. So schedule your time specifically for the things that you need to get done, and that'll help you to avoid the distractions. Emails and all those other things are important. Just make sure that you're scheduling them at a specific time. Number 5 would be to set realistic deadlines. By setting realistic deadlines, you can ensure that you have enough time to complete the to complete the tasks that are important and to avoid feeling overwhelmed. This could involve breaking down large projects into smaller tasks, which are more manageable, and by setting deadlines for each one of those. For instance, today being the 19th of February, if I said to myself, I want to launch a new product on the 19th of April. Now I've given myself 2 months to be able to do the whole spread of me designing the product up until I launch it. And it might be a collection, for instance. Let's say it's a collection of however many pieces I can decide on. Now I know that since I've given myself this deadline, I'm then able to set my individual deadlines and break it up, into the individual things that need to happen to make sure that this product is launched successfully. So for instance, if I know that I want to launch 6 new pieces as a collection on the 19th of April, you see, I'm being specific and it's realistic for me to do. I'm not saying I'm going to launch 60 new products on that day, because that's not being realistic. Then I know I'm giving myself plus minus 10 days per piece. And that'll mean I've got 10 days to be able to design and manufacture each of them, 10 days to be able to work out the packaging that I'm going to have for each of them, 10 days each to be able to market it for each of the pieces, depending on how I want to do the marketing. Maybe I do it individually, maybe I do it as a collection. I market them as a collection, or I market them individually, and it'll work out. It'll give me time to work out the way I'm going to deliver them to the clients, whether it's through the different courier services that are available, or maybe they can come and collect it. Whatever the case might be, I know that I've got a specific goal that I'm trying to do, and I'm setting these deadlines for each of these things that I've identified for them to be able to happen. And as I said, because I've said it's going to be 6 pieces, that's very realistic for you to be able to achieve. And setting out those realistic deadlines, and as I've just said, working backwards, will mean the process will become less stressful for you to be able to do. And you do have an end target that you are aiming for, which makes the process even more realistic and more achievable. So give yourself time to set out those realistic deadlines, whatever it might be in your business. And if you stick to them, it'll make life so much easier for you in the long run. Number 6 would be to take regular breaks. So taking regular breaks can help you to stay focused. It'll reduce your stress and it'll increase your productivity in the long run. Whether it's a quick walk around your office, or maybe you want to go outside very quickly and just take in the fresh air, or maybe you want to take coffee breaks every so often. Taking these regular breaks can help you stay refreshed and focused on your work. And of course, you will have your lunch break, which might be a bit longer than these regular smaller breaks. And that will be an opportunity for you to also eat some food, which will also help to get your energy up. So I think I read somewhere a few years ago that our attention span, or people on average attention span, lasts about 40 to 45 minutes. And anything beyond that, we are not as fully focused as we were within that 40 to 45 minutes. So if you want to use that as a yardstick, then you know that maybe every 45 minutes I just get up and I quickly just take a quick walk to the other end of the office, and I come back and I sit down and I continue with my work. It'll help to break the mundane. Sometimes work can get a bit mundane. It'll break that mundane working environment that you might be in, and when you come back and sit at your desk, you might be able to then look at the tasks that you're doing with fresher eyes, which will help you to then maybe complete the task even quicker. And don't take too many breaks, and rather don't take breaks that are longer than just a few minutes. Whether if let's say, for instance, you're a smoker, for instance, you can go out, have a quick smoke break, and then you come back. Do not now go chatting to other colleagues, or you're now opening social media and then just scrolling again. Leave that alone. That you can do during your lunch break, or if there's a set time for you to be on social media, you can do it during that time. But if you're just going to be standing up and just stretching your legs and walking, that will really help you to refocus and to be able to complete the tasks that you are trying to do as efficiently as you possibly can. So take regular breaks. It'll help quite a bit. So number 7 would be to streamline your processes or your systems. By streamlining your processes or your systems, you can reduce waste and inefficiencies, freeing up time for you to focus on the most important work. This could involve automating tasks, simplifying workflows, or finding more efficient ways of doing things that you need to do in your business. Freeing up or streamlining your processes could involve, for instance, in my case, we use a template for being able to come up with a quote for our clients, which is an ordinary Excel spreadsheet. What's on the spreadsheet is information such as the price of materials, the price of the packaging that we're going to be using, the labor, how long it's going to take for the piece to be made, the price of delivery. So all I have to do now is I sit down with my client, they give me all the information that they're looking for. Once I have that different information, I just open up that spreadsheet and I just fill in the different columns based on what we've just spoken about. And then at the end, because I've put in all the different formulas within Excel, it'll give me a recommended price that I'm going to then sell it to my client. I don't have to now, every time I get a new client, I need to think up, oh man, how long is this gonna take me? Oh man, what is the price of gold today? How much is the packaging? What is the price for delivery? I have all that information already within that spreadsheet. All I have to do is fill in that information and it'll give me the retail price, which I then give to my client. If they're happy, then we can basically continue. So streamlining is an example of that. So doing those kinds of things will just help you to be able to get as much work as possible done, and that you don't have to necessarily think about all these other things, because building a business is a lot of work, okay? And having to now spend time doing small little mundane things that could be automated will save you so much time, and it'll just make the process of getting your business going so much easier. So do think about streamlining your processes or your systems as carefully as possible. It'll just save you so much time. Number 8 will be planning ahead. By planning ahead and by anticipating potential roadblocks, you can better be prepared to handle all the different challenges that may come your way, and you can make the most out of your time. This could involve creating a schedule or plan of action for the day, the week, or the month. Example of planning ahead in my instance would be with my YouTube channel right now. At the beginning of 2024, I sat down and I decided, okay, I need to make sure that I drop a video once a week on a Monday, regardless of what happens. So what I did is I planned ahead by writing all the different topics that I want to speak about, and all the different videos, manufacture videos that I want to do for a set period. I haven't got them all done for the year, but I am breaking it up into chunks where I know that I'm going to be recording X amount of videos and they're all going to be going on X amount of days. And I plan that ahead, and then I go ahead and I write my script for whatever the video is, and I sit down in my office and I record it, and I make sure that I've scheduled it all within YouTube so that when it does come Monday, every Monday, I've got something that is dropping. That was me planning at the beginning of the year to make sure that I do not give myself unnecessary stress, where I know that I have a plan of what I want to do with my channel, and then having a plan without any sort of forward thinking of how I'm going to execute will just deter me and maybe even make you feel like nothing is getting done. Because just planning without doing anything is the same as not doing anything. You know, you have to, what is it? There's a saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. So planning ahead with everything in your business will help the process of what you're trying to do to happen as smoothly and as painlessly as possible. So that's just the example of I'm using with my YouTube. Obviously, for my actual business, the manufacture side of things, with it being predominantly being a custom-made jewelry designer, planning ahead would be, for instance, making sure that I have, let's say, individual presets for the designs that I have on CAD, so that if somebody were to come looking for something specific, I can just go and open my different presets that I have, and I can just modify them to make sure that whatever it is that I am trying to make for my client might fit within the presets that I have. I've planned ahead knowing that usually in my case, people come to me for engagement rings. So I already have some presets that are there that when a client does come to me, I just do a bit of changes here and there, and I can make it into the specification that they are looking for. So plan ahead as much as you possibly can. It'll just help once again, the process and how you are trying to build this business happen a lot smoother. And last but not least, number 9 would be eliminating unnecessary meetings. Meetings can be a real big time waster. So it's important for you to schedule meetings that are only necessary. When getting into the swing of things, we tend to schedule meetings to schedule meetings. That is not the best way to spend your time, let's be honest. So take stock of the most important tasks that need to happen, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, and then schedule the meetings based on when those tasks have to happen. There isn't a necessity for you to be meeting every week if there isn't anything that needs to be spoken about. And a lot of times, if we're being honest, the things that people do meet about in corporate environments or just in general, any meeting in a work environment, the tasks that you guys are speaking about could honestly have been solved in a round robin email thread. So if whatever it is, once again, I'll make the example of a logo. Let's say you do have a team and you guys are trying to decide what kind of logo you want for a specific product or for your business. I don't think there's a need for a meeting for that. All you have to do is, guys, this is what I have come up with for the meeting. What do you guys think? As a round robin, and then people will respond. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be emails. There are many different platforms that people use nowadays. For instance, Microsoft Teams, you can create a team within there, and then you guys can decide, or you can discuss on that platform, and that could count as your meeting. Another one would be Slack. That's another one where you create your team, and then you guys can do any sort of discussions or anything that you need to do can be discussed on that platform, and whatever it is that you need to have happen can be discussed then. It's not necessary for you to, now that it's Monday, you need to have a meeting. Not to say that meetings are not important, you just have to make sure that they are necessary to what it is that you're trying to do. So cut out the unnecessary meetings, they are not needed. And there you have it. That's my list of 9 things that you can do and implement in your business so that you can optimize the time that you are spending doing what you need to do to grow your business. If this video was helpful to you, or if you think that it'll be helpful to somebody else, please do share it with them. And maybe you can drop down a comment down below and let me know if there's anything that you would add to this list that you think would be useful for somebody who is trying to optimize their time in business. Thank you once again for tuning into my YouTube video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and have a fantastic rest of your week, and we will chat again in about 7 days. Peace.